Happy Independence Day, puppers!
4th of July.
Indeed. And for the occasion, we watched our holiday movie.
Yes.
Independence Day.
It was the first time I saw it.
Yes,
yeah,
it was
I'm
classic of mine. I saw
pretty far
as a
behind
kid.
on my on my films. So with it being the 4th of July, we actually have some fireworks going off outside. So if you hear some loud noises and such, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's not much we can do to help.
Yeah,
Let
so
people enjoy their fireworks.
Yeah, so there's going to be some fireworks and probably some fire whistles and things going off in the background
Mortars,
behind us.
kabooms, and a shaking dog.
Yeah, poor little baby. But anyway, yeah, we saw Independence Day with Will Smith, a couple other top...
Jeff Goldblum,
I almost
Randy
said
Quaid.
top brand actors, like name brand actors.
It has a pretty decent cast.
Yeah, it had a really, really good cast, I
Yeah.
thought. I was pleasantly surprised.
You were pleasantly surprised. So what were your expectations going in? Because there's a lot of movies that I talk about, I'm just like, you haven't seen that? Guess what we're watching now?
I mean, I think because I'd heard so much about it, I wasn't, like, oblivious to what it was going to be about.
Right.
You know, so I wasn't like, oh, they blew up the White House! Like, you know, like, I knew those things were coming. I knew it was in, like, the mid-90s, early 90s, so I knew, you know, CGI, things like that, it wasn't going to be phenomenally spectacular.
Right.
I thought it was really good for the time frame.
Yeah,
really
I
thought it was
It had a lot of
lot
practical
better.
effects, along with like very early CG, which that was the greatest thing about that era, was they still use practical effects.
Yeah.
To where the CG isn't like the only thing you're looking at.
Right.
Which is a lot more soothing for the eyes, really.
I thought some of the acting might have been a little cheesy, but what are you gonna? It's an alien flick, you know. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I went in kind of expecting
like a high-budget B movie.
Yeah, I went in expecting like the cheesy, expecting kind of like some not necessarily awkward situations, but I was expecting the checklist, and I got the checklist.
Yeah.
So you have like divorced relationship, they get back together, check. Like. You have the, oh no, kids in danger. Check. Like, so there was that checklist of things to go through. It was a really long movie. But honestly, thinking on it, I don't think they could have taken anything out.
Okay.
I feel like it would have definitely changed the structure and the vibe of the movie had they taken something out.
Yeah. Like, my only complaint, and I suppose we'll get to this right now, like, it's a bit of a spoiler, but... Yeah. You get
if you haven't seen Independence Day and I'm a step ahead, we gotta have a chat because I'm pretty far behind in my movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies you have to watch. But my only issue that I don't remember having as a kid, I remembered it differently, but I thought Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum as a team had more screen time.
Right. They
only become a duo in the last
maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If that. Like,
and
I feel as though they
each other
played
so well.
They played so well because he's so meticulous and cautious, and Will Smith is just you got the cigars, we need those cigars. So I enjoyed them playing together.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
wish
I think that
was throughout the movie.
I feel like it was a nice little cherry on top.
Yeah.
Part of me enjoys movies that can do that well, where they have several stories going on, and then they all meet up at the end, and they're like, surprise, we're all connected.
Yeah.
So while they did hit all the checkpoints, and it was kind of expected.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't any big surprise.
No.
I did enjoy it. I feel like that's a guilty pleasure.
Nice.
For modern time.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh yeah, I really like Independence Day. You know, you're not ashamed of it.
Has a badass president. He actually fights his own battles.
Yeah, I really like how they did the president, because I feel like it's really true to a lot of modern issues, regardless of whatever sides or, you know, anything like that. But you have this president who people are starting to doubt him.
Yeah.
You know, his age, where his loyalties lie with his family and things like that. You know, accused of being a cheater.
Yeah.
And you just see him kind of grow into what I think is a great leadership role.
Yeah.
So he's fighting beside his people. He sees this redneck hillbilly guy, and he's not like, I don't want you to fight with me. I'm
Right.
better than you. He's just like, all right, bring him in. Like, you know, he has faith in his people, and he in turn earns that faith back.
Yeah.
So, and I really like that aspect. And even when they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm a combat pilot. Like, I'm going up there.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy how they depicted a president that, like, is one with his people.
And Randy Quaid was the redneck pilot. And, like, I know these characters have names, but this is one of those movies where I just
don't know who their
them
names
as
are.
the actors. So I'm pretty sure
I don't know
like,
either
Will
of their
Smith's
names. I'm
character
like,
is,
hey, that
Steve
guy.
or whatever. But, like, I just know him as Will Smith.
Yeah.
I know it as, like, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum
Right.
taking on the aliens.
Yeah,
Bill
I don't really know
Pullman,
their names.
I believe is the president, and Randy Quaid is the redneck that got abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
People were just like, he's crazy. Even though...
I know, the
There's
aliens are
clearly
like coming there.
aliens all
And
over
he
the
was like,
major
I was
cities.
abducted 10 years ago. And they're like, psycho, let's go fight these aliens, you dumb asshole. Like, I do appreciate, like, at the end, though, because, again, it's expected. Like, I was expecting that line when he's like, I'm going to do it. And then, like, his last words are like, tell my kids I love them. And
Yeah.
I, like, you're expecting to hear that.
Yeah.
Because you can tell throughout the movie that he loves his kids, but he has an addiction. He has, like, mental issues, being abducted by aliens. Whether he was or wasn't, you know, he believes that. And you can see his kids
Kinda
don't like him
yeah,
at all.
exactly.
They're like, we're going to live with Uncle Randy. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, so you see that battle. And then, like, of course, it's a checkpoint. You tell my children I love them. And then at the end, you see, like, the oldest son who's just kind of, like, bummed. Like, his dad just died.
Yeah.
And he's like, your father was a brave man. You should be proud of him. I am. Like, you hit all the checkpoints, but it still hits so good. Like,
Yeah.
where you're just like,
It's predictable.
I'm
but,
not
like,
crying, you're crying.
It
Like,
nails it.
Yeah.
It's a very predictable movie. Like,
Yeah.
there's no surprises. There's no development or complexity with the aliens.
No.
They basically established these are like locusts. They want to drain you of your natural resources, kick the planet to the curb once it's
I
a
do
corpse,
have to say the
clock
one
on to the
part
next
with
one.
the aliens that I did really like is when they talk through the dead guy,
Yeah.
the scientist.
They use his vocal cords.
Because you see, like, his little tentacles squeezing the neck to make
Yep.
him talk, and I just thought that was a really clever way. Because he says previously, like, these aliens don't have vocal cords. They communicate in a different way with a different sense.
Telepathy. Yep.
So, and then you see the alien trying to communicate with the people. So he's using the vocal cords of a dead person. So I just thought, like, oh, that's clever. Like, you know, for the time, that was probably never done before.
And like the destruction is over the top, but it's effective.
Yeah.
Like you got people just running. We got the dog leaping from the
Oh my god, that
fireball.
was my favorite part of the movie. My favorite part. So you have the mom with her son, and they're like in a tunnel, driving the car through a tunnel, and they get out and they're running from this massive fireball, and she like kicks down the maintenance store and like grabs her kid, and then she's calling for the dog, and you see the dog running and the giant fireball behind him, and he just like leaps. You see these cars flying, and this dog is just like having that hero moment where he doesn't even look behind him. He doesn't give a shit that there was just an explosion. And I'm like, that was the best part. I couldn't contain myself because I just pictured our dog doing that, and
Aw.
it was just really funny.
Baby boy.
Yeah, little Wesker. It'd be like, my fur is singeing.
But yeah, the director is known for these like disaster-like movies.
Yeah.
He did like Stargate, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012.
Okay.
He did the worst Godzilla movie.
Oh no.
Which, looking back, I feel like maybe I think it's okay if I didn't see it as a Godzilla movie. Because there's
Okay.
nothing Godzilla about it. It's just like a giant reptile attacking the city.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it would be, like, because like, I haven't seen it in a while. But, it wasn't good from what I've seen. But that was this director. And I always
mean-
remember this as being like his best movie.
I definitely think that the direction was a plus, especially because when you have films like this where it's predictable, you know what's going to happen. The actors aren't really all that complex or
Exactly.
diverse. Like, none of them really have that big character arc.
No
Like,
characters really.
maybe
that
the
complex.
redneck guy, because he's like this drunken buffoon that just can't
He
seem
goes
to get it
through
right.
development, but he doesn't really have a
I feel
complex
like
arc.
he's the only one
Yeah.
that necessarily develops over the course of the movie. Everyone else is relatively the same from
Yep.
start to finish. But I feel like the direction as a whole, with characters like that in a movie like this where it's very predictable, I think that the direction is really what made it work.
Yeah, I also really like the writing. Like, the dialogue some of these characters have. It's quick, it's witty. Like, even from the beginning when, like, he's trying to point out what's going on with the satellites, and he's just like, what's with these golf balls over here? What, are you trying to kill me?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like improv. So I don't know if it was improv,
right?
Or if like it was written that way.
It felt natural.
Either way, yes.
It felt like a natural way of speaking. Like if you're in panic mode and you're tripping on golf balls, you're gonna be like, "These golf balls doing."
Which, as a counterpoint, and like we'll only touch on this briefly, Primal was very obviously scripted.
So bad.
we might cover Primal.
Yeah,
we
might do
in some way.
Special video for Primal.
Maybe.
I think it deserves its own nice little garbage bin. So, but no, overall, I think that it was a nice film to watch. I wouldn't be upset at watching it again.
Okay.
Which is really good for me because I don't really rewatch movies unless I'm going to binge watch them every day for the next 7 months.
I
Robin
like
Hood Men in Tights.
having it be a annual thing, like once a year, just pop in Independence Day
and just
make it a tradition.
Yeah, I think that
we will not go quietly into the night.
Yeah,
we will not vanish without
I'm not
a
gonna
fight.
lie, like I liked that speech. I was like,
yeah,
that's a good speech.
We will live on.
I'm like, did he just like sit down like, hey, I need 20 minutes to write a speech, or was he just like, fuck it, let's go, like roll the cameras, like, you know, I don't know, but it was a really good speech. And
so what would you give it?
I would say between Sleep at the Foot of the Bed and Part of the Family.
Okay.
So between
I'd say
4 and 5
definitely
stars.
like Sleep at the Foot of the Bed.
Like, again, it's not without its flaws from being a product of its time, but I definitely think it deserves to be in the house.
And it also got a sequel, which completely missed the point.
I don't want to see the sequel.
Of, like, the first movie.
I don't know what could be a sequel
Like,
to
the biggest sin of the sequel, and that movie has a lot of sins, but the biggest one is that there is no statue or memoriam for the pilot that sacrificed himself to save the day.
They're like, well, we don't know his name.
No
Sorry.
statue whatsoever, which was like the biggest missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And like Will Smith's character just gets like a name mention because his son is grown up and he's the main character. That little boy.
Okay, yeah.
He's the main character. And like I'm just like, cool.
What? Do the aliens come back? Like.
Yeah.
I hate sequels.
Yeah, they come back with a queen.
Oh, for sure.
And like the queen is like the size of buildings. And
I don't know
she
why. Like you said
attacks.
the queen, and I just pictured like the older sister from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
Oh.
Like with the arms. Like that's what I pictured this queen to look like.
The Elder Shrew.
Yeah, the Elder Shroob.
But yeah, 4 stars. We hope you all have a lovely Independence Day.
Stay safe.
And we'll see you guys with the next video.
Toodles.